Okay, we should be live now. We'll give people a sec to come in. So this evening I am joined as usual by Sam. Hello, Sam.
Hello, you all right?
Yeah, very well, thank you. I'm also joined by a newcomer, shall we say, General Kenobi. Someone I've
Gotta do it.
That was inevitable, yeah. I say, but both Sam and Mr. Kenobi here are people that I know in real life. So,
Unfortunately,
yeah, brilliant. Thanks.
I was going to leave that abuse for a little longer, but yeah, sure, jump straight in.
How are we doing, boys?
well, it's my first one. I've got to, jump in. Yeah, doing good, mate. Doing good. Yourself?
Yeah, good. I mean, Sam and I had a bit of a chat last night. How's the head?
Still not great, I'll be honest.
He's hungover. You had like 2 bottles of wine or something?
Yeah.
Oh, bless.
Fucking waste, man.
I've become an absolute lightweight over the course of lockdown. Don't drink anymore, so for some reason
we all have, to be fair.
I'll do it tonight. Yeah. Well, bit of a headache. Hopefully it'll cure as this goes on.
Yeah, you had a big breakfast or coffee or whatever.
No coffee. I'd pasta for lunch. I feel a bit better after
carbs.
I think I'm feeling better than I did. So
very cool. Yeah, Mike, you said you've been doing some DIY today.
Have indeed. Been going full dad mode.
Full dad mode.
Yeah, hanging pictures up. Very exciting.
What I do want to ask is are you a driller?
I do have a drill. Does
Very
that make
nice.
me a driller?
You're a fucking driller, mate. It's this meme that's been going around. Another guy called Owine invited me to just have a chat on Friday. We ended up watching some playing City Skylines and watching a TikTok with this guy shouting that he's not a fucking driller in a really posh accent, and it was just so funny.
Amazing.
We've got a few people watching. I mean, we normally get 5 to 10 viewers at a time, so we'll give people a couple more minutes. I guess all three of us have had an interesting couple of weeks with the financial shit that's been going on.
Time in hands, baby.
But yeah, I know.
Yeah, still holding on.
I think all three of us are. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I think anyone who follows me has noticed that I've been decidedly quiet on this for the last few days.
I mean, I don't think your losses are as bad as mine are.
No. Luckily, I managed to get in quite early. You, however, are an idiot.
Yes, I think you went back up on Friday. Oh, like 300s.
Oh, mate.
Yeah,
that's some good loss porn on Wall Street Bets.
Yeah, we had
loss at the minute. I think. It's nice.
Fuck me. I was actually in the green on Friday for a minute when it spiked up.
Oh yeah, that's not going to happen again.
Well, we had I know, Sam. We had a mate who put in a lot of money, and
it's not the amount of money that he put in; it's the fact that amounted to his entire life savings.
Yeah, but bar 50 quid to last until his next paycheck.
Yes,
and no, didn't you have to literally liquidate 0.1 of a share to buy you a takeaway or something for a bet?
Yeah.
He literally
shares now.
Yeah, I know. And yeah, then Kenobi, we had another mate who was he taking the piss when he said he bought another 5K's worth the other day when it did?
I'm not actually sure. He didn't show us proof, so
I think he might have been just taking the piss. But yeah, it's been a wild ride, I think.
Yeah, it's either going to be really interesting next week or really boring.
Yeah, I mean, all I'm saying is that as soon as they lifted the buy limits, it nearly doubled, immediately. Yeah. So, and then it went back down again. That was the bit that put me in the green for a minute while I wasn't paying attention and doing some of my actual work. Should we move on to the topic at hand then? So I think we're going to be we're still going to be talking about cars a bit. We'll do our best Top Gear tonight.
Speed and power. That's all I've got.
Yeah. So I mean, pictured. I want to talk about, I guess, we'll talk about electric cars and then the advantages and disadvantages of them, along with petrol cars, and maybe a bit of hydrogen fuel cell, which I know has been around, but I don't think it's been that widely adopted for reasons. We might actually start with kind of the differences between old and new designs in how cars look. Purely, I mean, we can also talk about the proposed sort of futuristic business models for it, like cars as a service, sort of driverless cars, that sort of thing. See how much time we end up using. But we've had a comment initially saying that Farbot doesn't want to be driven around by an overglorified toaster, which I've noticed there is quite a high sentiment of that towards electric cars, the sort of plug-in and play ones like Teslas. I don't know what you think about
that. Cars are cars. I don't really care, if I'll be perfectly honest. I don't care what the power source is. It's a tool at the end of the day.
I've never driven an electric car. I have been in one like once, but that was like a really small sort of runabout. I think it's weird how quiet it is, and I think there is something to be said for the kind of soul of petrol cars.
You don't get the same engagement as a driver, for sure.
No, I mean it's interesting, even as just starting with the design. Like if you look at old cars, like I don't know what it is about them, but they just look so cool, like all of them, and they all look very different as well. They're cool and different.
Yeah. So like all the modern cars just look the same.
That's what I'm thinking. Is even the sort of top end ones, like even this one here, it's like it's a modern car with a retro twist. And it's like if you look at this like Mustang versus Aston Martin, like yes, the Aston Martin is easily distinguishable, but it's still not that much difference. And then compared to like a Bugatti, they're very, very similar in the way they look.
Yeah, it's all just different amounts of curve.
Yeah, and they're all very sort of bulbous, I guess. None of them are chonky. Like even
the anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Like I can't like this sort of thing. Like I guess the Dodge is kind of known for having the square front, and like this sort of thing as well, where it kind of looks like a ship or a boat more.
Probably handles like one too.
Probably does handle like a cruise. I mean, I do imagine
they do look cool.
If you're into classic cars and you actually buy like your dream classic car from the 60s or something, then you get into it and drive it, you find it's probably a pig to drive.
Yeah. Realize why powered steering exists.
Exactly. Yeah. You get into some tiny. I mean, the car that I normally use is a tiny little Volkswagen Up, which is basically a go-kart. And it's easy. It's so easy to steer and park and everything. I mean, obviously, I prefer to have something a bit more powerful.
You don't realize how much power steering makes a difference until it fails.
Yes,
I had that in my old car, and that was a terrifying experience.
Yeah, like all of
makes
these
you wonder how they used to drive like big trucks and stuff.
I imagine they were just
real men.
They were real men.
Yeah.
I mean, even your I guess Kenobi. I mean, you've got a Defender, haven't you? So...
Land Rover Defender. Yeah. That's got powered steering. But
yeah, it's quite old, isn't it? I can't remember how old it is.
1998. So like 23.
Just younger than us.
23 years old. Yeah. But the powered steering on that failed once when I was driving it, and I physically couldn't turn it around the corner.
Yeah, how heavy is it? Because it's the whole car
heavy. It's like 2-3 tons.
I guess I did expect slightly more. I guess. Yeah, like it's got a couple of gearboxes as well for the off-roading. I mean, that's something that I guess these cars aren't that kind of car, are they? Because they're definitely more for road and speed. I mean,
definitely. They'll like the grip of the tires as well makes a difference. Is that a Jag?
I think it's is it the Eagle one, the sort of newer, the sort of modernized version. I can't remember what it's called, like Eagle Speed something. But they kind of they made
Spitfire vibes.
Yeah, they made an E-Type and then kind of modernized the insides and the engine and everything, but it costs like $500,000. Cool. I mean, that would be the ideal, wouldn't it? Having E-Type looks, but with sort of modern interior and workings and everything. I don't know what it is.
There's a growing market for that, for modernizing classic cars. There's companies in America that make them electrified and stuff like that.
I've heard of them doing that.
popular.
Yeah.
I guess in America, they, with sort of muscle cars and that, they're quite like the sort of straight line acceleration and speed, don't they? It's not as much on the handling like European ones tend to be. I guess they probably prefer the electric stuff because there is just, you get insane power and torque and things in the straight line. I mean, I'll come on to some of the rankings of power for different cars that I found, and the top ones are all electric. Yeah, I'm trying to think, because with the newer ones, as you say, they're kind of flowing and bulbous, like this sort of thing. Is that to do with aerodynamics, do you reckon?
I was going to say, I think it probably is. It's better understanding of aerodynamics and just performance. That's what they're wanting from them, rather than necessarily looks. But I guess it's the tastes change as well. Like, we've gone through like more angular, more boxy in like a few decades ago, and now it just seems to be sleek and smooth.
But as we've said, they all look the same. Like I guess they'll probably tend to a certain limit where you just can't get better aerodynamics, I suppose.
That might be what we're saying.
I would have thought that there's also, I mean, we can talk about, I mean, Sam, we've talked a lot about regulations and that. I'm sure there's 1,000,001 regulations on building cars to be for certain efficiency, and there's probably a limit to how much you can innovate when you get to that limit.
Yeah, that'll be a factor.
Yeah, from what I've heard, there are quite. I mean, just things like emissions.
Yeah, I mean, emissions is probably the big one. I guess safety is going to be another one.
Yeah, safety, airbags, all that sort of stuff. A lot of things that you've got to have put in.
Oh my god, that is hideous. Just on a side note.
It's crazy.
Is that Grand Theft Auto? Sorry.
Actually, yeah, it looks like
Saints Row.
It doesn't.
Yeah, Saints Row. I was going to say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are the more modern ones, I guess, and even all the BMWs and Mercs always look the same as well. And then Lamborghini just does their own thing, which I kind of like. They're always sort of wedge shaped. But I saw one. I think there was the new. Is it that one? One of the newer Bugattis. It basically, the whole front of it has like vents in it that allow, as it's going along, it sucks the air in, but it flows it all around the engine and out the back. And it has like built-in wings that built into the body and the vents and things to give it insane amounts of downforce, which I think is pretty sick. I think it's the very latest Bugatti, the one that was only just announced quite recently.
That one though you just showing looks like almost like a family car.
It does, yeah. Can you imagine it look like
it looks like a hot rod.
I was going to say Bugatti hot hatchback or something. Like Bugatti tries to compete with Fiat or something with the. I mean, there's something about, as I said, this is kind of like a
very Bond-esque,
a modern take on. I mean, Morgans are known for being kind of very, I don't know what the word is, kind of Edwardian in their looks. But I guess this is the modern take. You can see the brakes and things on it as well.
Yeah.
But I bet that's not the best for aerodynamics either, because you've got the massive, I don't know what this is called, the sort of plate, which I guess comes from the old like coach things where you have to step out of it, like that sort of thing. But I mean, can you imagine driving one of these?
Wouldn't be worried about miles per gallon in a car like that.
No, I don't even want to look at the statistics for that. Yeah, I guess at what point do you kind of... There's all these different efficiencies where you got your miles, but your efficiency of fuel, you got your carbon emissions, how fast it goes from the aerodynamics, versus does it have this sort of soul, I guess.
Yeah.
At what point?
I think it's like you say, if you put regulations on it, eventually everything tends towards passing the regulations, which will inevitably look the same.
Yeah. So then you end up with this shit. It's like, what is this?
Jesus Christ.
Someone got paid to draw that.
Like, what? I mean, we can move on to older electric cars, like from, I don't know, like 10, 15 years ago.
Like the G-Wiz.
Yeah, like those things. They're just so uncool. Like, I don't know why. Yeah, I think. Well, how do you spell Gee Whiz? Is it just G
double?
It's just what like
G double E Whiz.
Oh, it's that. I found it. Like this shit.
Christ. Like, it's like an uglier Spark car.
But this is what this. I mean, we always seem to come back to Elon Musk, but this is what I quite like about what Tesla have done is that they seem to have made electric cars cool in a way that you get.
There is some debate on the Cybertruck. Although I'm firmly on the side.
We can have that debate later on, I guess. But like, I mean, this is the one that looks like the Tonka Kids car.
That literally looks like it, paint-wise and everything.
Yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, like there's one called the Intelligentsia and stuff. They're all so like gay. Intelligentsia car, I think it's called.
I mean, at the time, it's going to be people who really, really care about the environment. Whereas, like petrol heads, people who are actually interested in cars, they're not going to go for something which has a 70-mile range.
But neither is the average person who looks at. They look at this and go, I'm not driving to work in this.
That thing looks less aerodynamic than like a normal car from the same era.
Yeah, you're right. It's just not a single thing about it that makes me want to drive it.
Yeah.
And even compared to petrol, I mean, even the safety, like, it's not exactly got a large crumple zone, has it?
You are the crumple zone.
Well, yeah, pretty much. The crumple zone is your legs. Yeah,
superiority complex you can have while driving one. I'm saving the planet.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's the only. I mean, it's that. I mean, we could talk about having to plug into the regular power grid, which how environmentally friendly is that really when you got coal power plants and stuff?
How crap our power grid is anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've talked about that at great length.
Yeah, it's fun. That's why I'm trying to move away from it.
Yeah. I guess what we can look at. What I was saying about electric cars, that the way that Tesla seems to have gone with them, and the way that it's starting to pick up with a lot of other car companies being like, "Oh crap, we should probably do that to compete with Tesla."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because they've shown that it's basically viable. There's the Rimac, which is the sort of mad fast. Is it Czech or Polish? They've made some. I think. Well, we can have a look. I had a Wikipedia link, I think, if I can get that to.
Oh, I think I know the one you mean. Is that that's the one that Hammond had a crash in? Yeah.
Yes, that's the one. Actually, this is a bit of a side note. Who's your favourite Top Gear presenter or Grand Tourer out of those three?
I like May. I'm not gonna lie.
It's hard to pick a favourite actually, because they all have their own bit.
Well, that's obviously why they work so well together. I would have to say Hammond, I think, is my favourite. I think May, like, I see why people like him, but at the same time, like, I feel like as a person rather than a presenter, like, if I was going to have a pint with any of them, I think I prefer Hammond.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
As a presenter, I prefer James May, but yeah, if we talk about as a person, I think I agree with you on that.
I don't know if you've seen, there's a YouTube channel called Drive Tribe.
Yes. Yeah, I followed it.
Yeah, it's the three of them and some random Scottish Zoomer. And there's all the ones of Hammond where he's just like going crazy in lockdown, just like annoying his wife and daughters by driving fast bikes around.
I think my favourite one of those was the one with Hammond and May, where they were drinking and putting Lego together.
Oh yeah, they were
just watching them progressively get drunker over the course of 2 hours. It was great.
It's just their own private channel. They just do whatever they want.
Yeah,
like, May bought a pub recently. Have you seen that one?
I did, yeah. In literally the worst time in history to buy a pub.
Yeah.
Jesus. When it's literally illegal to open them.
Gives them a chance to fix the leaks, I guess.
Sorry. Well, yeah, Hammond just I think there's one where he was testing the new Defender, which I know you have strong opinions on, Kenobi. the new Defender.
I mean, how long do you want me to go into it?
you can have a brief rant if you like. I'll give you that.
Yeah, I just think it's an all right looking car. It's not the Defender. They should have just given it a new name. Let the Defender rest in peace.
Well, it's a new discovery, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, all the Land Rovers now, they basically look the same. And it's coming back to what we were saying earlier. And yeah, it looks all right. Like, to begin with, I thought I didn't really like it, but it has grown on me. I think it looks nice, but it's not the Defender.
What if Jaguar Land Rover built a pickup truck? Would you reckon?
That would be interesting. I don't know,
because I don't know how many.
I can't really picture the current Defender as a pickup. I think it would look weird.
I don't know how many farmers actually use. Because
they've all got old Defenders, mate.
That's what I was going to say.
If you go to Wales, it's all like 30-year-old Defenders.
Yeah, I don't know how many, because they're pitched as a sort of working vehicle, aren't they? More than a car.
Yeah, literally.
But I guess
when they were first built, it was literally to be like a cheap tractor.
Yeah.
That you could use for literally everything.
Well, they're used heavily in the military, aren't they? I mean, have you seen the army ones actually?
They're like the SAS ones and stuff like that.
The they've got they've taken out the
it's the Snatch Land Rover, I think.
They've taken out the bonnet and stuck like a machine gun in it.
Yeah, it's cool.
I don't know which one am I looking for. I've seen, is it that one? There's one where they've literally got like a hole in the bonnet where a guy sits with a machine gun.
Is that the?
There's a Land Rovers though. Actually, I guess this is the sort of pickup truck like I was thinking without the back on.
Yeah.
What am I thinking? The Australian military only use them as well. Yeah.
Yeah, they're used in loads of armies around the world, even now.
I know.
I think the British Army still gets new deliveries of like the original Defender design from JLR.
Yeah. I've heard from JLR
that looks horrible.
That one
you just opened.
yeah. It's the new. It's the sort of rounded front as well.
Yeah.
Farbod makes a good point that May is very much I fucking love science kind of guy. He reminds me of Stephen Fry, who I don't like. Feel free to argue with me about that.
No, I don't love nor hate Stephen Fry, to be honest.
I'm a big fan of it. I'm a big fan of the characters he plays, like Melcher in Blackadder and Jeeves and Wooster. But I think the guy himself is like. I think my mum actually described him best. He's a stupid person's impression of a smart person. I think he's a decent actor and everything, and I like his characters, but him himself, I'm not a fan of.
No, that's fair.
What was I going to say? Yeah, so I know that Jaguar Land Rover does have like sort of what are they called, like military sort of bulletproof testing ranges. But I assume because they provide the cars for the Prime Minister, because they always go in Jaguars, don't they?
Yeah,
I assume they have special custom bulletproof ones. That would be my assumption. I know as well for Land Rovers, you can buy. They have a deal with a really expensive shotgun company, where if you buy one of these,
one of these
what's
it called?
One of these $100,000 shotguns, you get a free Land Rover with it, not the other way around.
That's amazing. What does $100,000 shotgun entail? Can that tear through space or something?
No, it's called the Kingsman Edition. That's it. Kingsman Edition Defender.
I'm gonna look that up because I cannot spell for shit. Defender. Is that one where it comes with the shot? Oh wow, Project King.
If you go to the All tab, you'll go on their website and they've got pictures of the shotgun rack.
I've seen ones with like
it's that top one. Yeah.
Kingsman Edition. Oh, that's sick. I actually want one so much.
Scroll down a bit, you'll see the shotguns. It's got like you can get like wine racks and everything in it as well.
Oh my god! Look at this.
I want to be rich. Is that too much to ask?
I don't like the Queen doesn't own one of these. I'll be very disappointed.
I don't like that it's branded after a movie, but that is so cool. I want one. Look at these boys.
Yeah, very nice. I think it came out before the film, actually.
The logo
looks quite a while.
The logo looks similar to the movie. I mean, it could be like unrelated, I guess. The gun rack and the.
I mean, there were comics beforehand, weren't they? Could be
true. Yeah, I doubt Land Rover would base a design on a comic. I don't know. Kingsman conversion. So what? So you give your Land Rover to them and they convert it into one of these monsters.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Look at that.
Yeah, there's quite a few around there.
I love it. They've got a measuring glass, like for shots. so you can go and do shoot your pheasants or whatever, and they just get hammered on shots.
That's the dream.
That's so good. Oh yeah, this is so cool at the gun rack as well. That's amazing. So like Beater's rods and the whiskey as well there. That's crazy. We should get into shooting at some point.
What? Go halves on one of these?
Yeah. when GameStop comes in,
yeah, that's a good point.
We'll get one of these and rent it between us. That's actually sick. I mean, we've gone on quite a bit of a tangent there, but we'll go back to electric cars.
Defender's probably the complete opposite of an electric car.
It is. I mean, can you imagine, because I know Tesla's obviously doing the Cybertruck, and they're also doing a semi truck as well, which is mad powerful. I don't know. Obviously, Jaguar has done a couple of electric vehicles, so it's not outside the realms of possibility. You get a Land Rover one. You get
they are bringing out hybrid Range Rovers and stuff. So
I reckon it's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
The kind of people that would buy a Range Rover as well, they would happily buy an electric Range Rover even if it had shit range, just to flex that it's an electric Range Rover.
I mean, yeah, round where I grew up, I mean, the queues of Land Rovers on the way to the Jaguar place was just unbelievable.
I'll tell you, that didn't happen around where I lived.
Well, it's because they were all company cars because everyone's dad works for that fucking company.
There's off here 500s around me.
Nice.
Different worlds we live in, man.
How the other half live, eh?
So fair in you.
So I was sorry. I was looking at these. Not these. So I'm looking at sort of top acceleration for all these cars, and obviously the top ones are all you've got a hybrid one. I think this Porsche is actually petrol. I think it doesn't say, but then you've got electric, and there aren't obviously that many electric cars that have been put out. So for them to be taking this many in the top few spots is pretty mental. I mean, the Tesla Model S isn't even it's like a sedan.
Yeah.
It's not a sports car.
No. I think the Roadster's even quicker, isn't it?
The Roadster, yeah, it is. We'll look at that in a sec.
Have you seen the new Model S they're bringing out, the Plaid edition?
No.
Oh mate, it's on steroids. It's got 1,000 horsepower.
What? Well, how do you spell that?
PLAID.
Yeah. I think I saw actually people talking about this, but oh my God. Let's have a look on the Tesla website, I guess. Model S. Oh, I am in the UK. Can I have one in the UK? Holy shit.
1.99 seconds.
Is that a world record? That's a world record then, isn't it?
I guess for this list. Yeah. What is this list? Is it production cars?
List of fastest production cars by acceleration.
Right. Yeah, so that'll get to the top of the list.
And it's just a sedan. It's not especially designed for insane speeds. Presumably this top Porsche would be. Yeah, that is obviously designed to be a hypercar.
Quick, yeah.
A hypercar. I mean, this obviously this one as well is also a pretty fast. Is also obviously designed to be a sort of sports car, supercar. Whereas this is just a sedan. Top speed of 200 miles an hour.
Which you'd get to pretty quick, I should imagine.
Can I afford one on my tendies?
I'm looking at it now, and it's saying
like
around 130. Yeah, 131 grand.
Applied Plus. What's the Applied Plus? Quickest 0 to 60 of any car ever, of any production car ever.
There you go.
Quarter mile in 9 seconds. What the
Jesus Christ!
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's insane. The thing is, right, you see the price tag is 130k. When you consider something like a Bugatti, you can easily spend millions on.
Yeah.
That's
actually not that bad.
I mean, the torque
obviously
vector
for us commoners, that's a lot of money, but you know
they have torque vectors where they have the independent steering for each wheel, isn't it? Or like they can send power to each wheel individually.
Depending on conditions. Yeah.
Handling, that's insane. Yeah, exactly. I'd say this is a sedan, and then you look at there's one that's I had another link for power output, as in just raw, like how many horsepower. There's another one.
I'm looking at the Rimac.
There's this Lotus here. This Lotus one has got just under 2,000 horsepower. And it's all electric. I don't know what that is. Hennessy Venom. That is, I don't know if that's petrol or not.
I think Hennessy is an American.
Does it say what kind of engine? Yeah. Oh, twin. That's V8. Okay, that's a petrol one. I guess if it doesn't say, we're going to assume it's petrol.
I guess, yeah.
I mean, even the Bugatti Chiron Super whatever. That's nowhere near the top spots, and they're all electric. The top three for the power output. So all I'm saying is that if you're a petrol head, then electric cars might have a future, because they're just for the raw fucking acceleration and power output. I mean, I had a question on mines actually, which is a bit of a new thing.
Ooh, never actually been on mines.
It's all right, actually. It's kind of like a hybrid. It's like a stripped down Facebook, but it's all like crypto based. Powell's Spirit asked me, do you see electric cars? Do you see electric as the future of cars, or is it a bit like the HD DVD? Is there an alternative that's in development that will be as user friendly as petrol? I don't dislike the idea of being more environmentally friendly through efficiency, for example, but electric as it currently stands just seems to be a very contrived future that simply wouldn't exist without subsidy and green initiatives. So I kind of get that it is to an extent artificially pushed, like electric cars. But as I've shown from these insane power outputs and accelerations of this absolutely mental Tesla, that they do have their place, and I think technically they're different enough from a regular petrol car to be to as they have their place. I don't know what you guys
think. I think Tesla's the perfect example that electric is the future, in my opinion, because you look at a car like a Tesla and you think that's a normal car, which arguably is what you want.
That's what I was saying, is that they don't compare that to this pile of trash. This absolute ridiculous. I mean, they're saying 500 odd miles for range estimate, and
that's on the Plus model as well. Actually, but I'm assuming that's not flat out.
Well, no, because the less
understandable.
The Plaid only has 390, and the Plaid Plus has 520. Is that they're just putting extra batteries in it? I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, what I'm thinking is that the way that the cars are even put together and the way they handle is probably different, because if you've got a load of laptop batteries in the bottom, then that's going to affect the way that it handles.
Yeah, it's going to be very low center of gravity.
So again, it's just different to drive, I guess. So there's a future for both that and petrol, I think. Unless the government goes mad and bans petrol.
They're basically saying that already. They're not banning it. They're saying by 2050. They're not going to allow purchase of new petrol cars.
Yep.
So
thanks UK, thanks conservative UK government.
Keep that up, because it might be worth a lot in like 100 years.
Yeah. I'll keep my Volkswagen up. My 2000.
Whoa, was that a petrol car?
What was it? It's probably 8 or 9 years old. It's probably 8 or 9 years old now. So my 2012 Volkswagen up. Sell it in 2112. I guess.
I was just going to say, I think the major issues that are going to surround it is the range, the battery tech, because at the minute there's still not been any massive revolution in battery tech like people were hoping for. And the grid is fucked. Especially if you're going to have so many people tapping into it in the way that they are, because it's just not set up for this in the slightest.
Well, yeah, what you're saying, I think I was talking to one of you about like the fact that the UK power grid used to have a spike after EastEnders or something when people put the kettle on for a cup of tea.
You get brownouts all over the country.
But I do know that we've also been selling. When we had our power station shut off at the same time as buying energy from France, which seemed a bit weird.
I don't know whether that's a political move or what, but
I mean, it blatantly is a political move. It's not a industrial move.
Or it's a pre-arranged thing. Like we've said, right, we're going to buy this much off you. We've already given them the money. We might as well keep taking the power.
But at the same time, having our ones shut off, like it just seems, I don't know.
It's nonsensical. I'm pretty sure we've still got some of the.
Is that just a way to like artificially lower emissions or something?
Well, if we import the emissions,
France is mostly nuclear, isn't it?
For now,
that's sensible.
For now, it is. I think haven't they been planning on going backwards?
I'm not sure.
It's like everyone else in the West. Excellent.
Realizing that all of these sustainable ideas like wind power are actually completely useless. Like people have been saying for years.
Yeah, well, if you plug your Tesla Plaid, a Model S Plaid into the grid, you're taking energy from nuclear, from coal, from wind. Solar, you don't get to choose where it comes from.
No, it's silly. I hate the energy.
What do you know about the? Do you know about the Tesla roof?
Oh, the Solar City thing.
Solar roof that they've been working on. Yeah, Solar City.
That's quite cool, isn't it? Solar City roof. Yeah, it looks just like a tile, doesn't it?
Has Solar City done much?
Yeah, they've built like tiles that look like.
Yeah, those are solar panels.
It's been pretty quiet.
I saw those.
I think you can only actually buy it in America right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite heavily government subsidized, isn't it? Which I'm not too much of a fan of, but I guess if it's a way to make it take off, then what? Fine. I mean, it's better than this crap.
Oh yeah, they're hideous, aren't they?
I mean, I was driving the other day down to like pick up some stuff from my flat, and it was the days where it was really icing and snowing, like a few weeks ago. And we drove past a solar farm near Oxford, and it was just like it's rows and rows of panels in a field, and they were all just covered in ice and just like encrusted with like icicles and snow and everything.
Incredible.
People just don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, look, if it looks cool like this, I have no problem with this whatsoever.
Yeah.
I mean,
the good thing about those is good thing about those is once they stop producing electricity, they still act as a roof. They still look like a normal roof.
Yeah, exactly. If you snowed under, if you put it up in rural Wisconsin or something, which might not be the best plan. I assume they're waterproof and everything. I don't know how much energy do they produce enough energy to charge your car, like your Tesla.
Well, if you think about it, your roof takes up quite a lot of surface area. So if the entire roof is solar, I'd imagine that could sustain a normal-sized family, probably.
Yeah, but
obviously it depends where you live.
You've got to store it as well, though, surely.
Yeah, and then that brings us back to the battery tech.
Yeah, solar roof. Does it say how much power it actually outputs? Oop, the websites are pretty jazzy.
They do make nice websites. There you go. You can smack it with a hammer if you want.
Just just what I felt like doing is. Oh, of course it's IoT.
Nice.
Yeah.
My neighbour's autistic kid can hack me. Excellent.
It can hack you. Okay, they have a battery, compact home battery, Powerwall.
Yeah, the Powerwall. That's their like battery solution. But it's the same cells they put in the cars.
Right. Okay. Best fire.
I think don't they already get replaced every 3 years? Is that not something which is?
That's a good thing that I hadn't thought of actually.
Tesla.
I know
batteries don't last forever.
They're lithium ion, aren't they?
Yeah, based on.
I think I said this to you before, Sam, but I had a friend at university who was a chemist, and he did some research into sodium ion batteries. Like, I'm not saying that he got anywhere. I can't remember, but
is it the one who works with me now?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
But like, at least that sort of thing's been researched. And obviously, sodium is way easier to get than lithium. It's just, I mean, I guess you could electrolyze water or seawater or something to get the salt out, and then do something with that. It doesn't actually say what the output is, or have I gone past it? Win rating. It's all, don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It doesn't even say how much battery this takes up.
Tesla did announce, I think it was last year, they said they'd created a cell which will last 1 million miles, as in recharges. So like,
right,
you could drive your car 1 million miles before needing to replace the cells.
I'm a little bit skeptical of that, but go on.
Well, that's Elon,
Yes, I mean, they are flying.
Been wrong before.
They are flying interplanetary, like, fucking cruise liners at the moment, or trying to crashing them very spectacularly, shall we say? Oliver's
Toyota's meant to be announcing. I think they worked on some kind of supercapacitor battery. I think they're meant to be releasing that this year, or announcing it this year. Apparently, it can fully charge in 10 minutes or something ridiculous.
What?
Jeez.
I guess. I mean, if people
there is a lot
pretty quick as well.
Yeah,
there is a lot of research in batteries.
I'm sure there is.
Yeah. I think one of the things.
If anyone wants to earn a lot of money, just invent a new battery.
Because the technology is very similar to what it was when it was invented, like the battery.
Yeah,
like it hasn't really moved on.
Yeah, the core concept hasn't really changed.
A battery for 1 million miles. I'm kind of skeptical of. Oliver's calling me a driller in chat. Boys, I mean, I seem to have pissed off the Anglo Twitter football fans today. I told them that football was for plebs, and they weren't very happy with me for some reason. I stand by it, though. I agree with myself. So that's all we want. That's all we want. What are the advantages of electric cars? I'm just looking down my notes. Actually, there's one thing about the batteries are also pretty flammable, aren't they?
Oh yeah, if you've ever seen a lithium-ion battery get pierced.
Yeah, because the one where Richard Hammond narrowly survived crashing a Rimac.
Yeah,
that person
stay on fire for 4 days.
I saw an interview with him afterwards. Yeah, because there's nothing really you can do with the fire, I guess. It's all based on the horrible chemicals inside the battery.
Yeah.
I don't know what you do with it.
Forgive me, I might be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure petrol's flammable too.
I have heard that.
I was imagining what would happen if you pitched the car nowadays. It's so we've got the internal combustion engine. So we've got this liquid that's made from dead dinosaurs, and it burns really hot if you set it on fire. And they're like, okay, well, so what are you going to do with it? So, we're gonna
tiny explosions.
Yeah, we're gonna explode it a lot, many times a second inside this great big mechanical contraption, and attach that to wheels.
And put extra seats in so you can carry your children around too.
Yeah, exactly. And we're gonna drive it at 100 miles an hour.
Sounds great. Oh, and you have to pay maintenance costs as well. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the main advantages of an electric car. Actually, you don't have to change oil, stuff like that.
As I say, it's kind of like it's like an iPhone. It's just kind of soulless, I guess. Because, like, I mean, you complained about this with your Defender, but you can't just like bolt shit onto it if you want to.
Yeah, that's true. Although, if they're planning on automating all their cars and then you won't actually own it anymore, then why would they want you to be able to modify it?
I mean, that's something we can discuss further.
They might have open source electric cars in the future. Like
well, you can already get those. There's one called the Electrified Garage in America, and they hack Teslas and stuff. They're pretty cool.
Oh, didn't they get in trouble with lawsuits or something?
I think they're really into the right to repair stuff.
I'm not a fan of
I don't know if they've got a website.
Yeah, this one, isn't it?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Ground up Tesla and EV only repair and customization facility. But Powell's in chat. Powell, we've already dealt with your question from Minds, which is a good question. If you're interested. There is something kind of soulless about the whole car as a service idea.
At that point, you're not bothered about the driving experience. You just want to get somewhere.
It's a taxi, isn't it? It's a driverless taxi. But the idea that you'd buy a car and then kind of like rent it out. And when I rent it, like you drive it to work, and then while you're at work, rather than sitting in the car park, it would drive around and itself by picking up people and give you some money, like as a taxi fare, I guess. You kind of become your own taxi company while you're at work. I don't know, like. I guess you only really get that experience when you own a car that you drive somewhere and you can like keep things in it and you can just quickly nip out whenever. There's a bit of freedom to it. You know, it's like an extension.
Yeah, it's a mobile extension of your home.
It's an extension of you being able to walk somewhere as well, like just at will. Like it's like, I want to go here now, and you just go and do it, rather than have to wait for a fucking bus or like a train or having to in the future obviously like wait for your car to turn up. I feel like people will reject it. I mean, there's a lot of things that I thought people were rejecting, they haven't. So
yeah, but I guess you also have the option not to send your car out, presumably.
I mean, is that economic? I mean, if there's economic incentives, then people probably will. If you get paid to be your own taxi company, as I said.
Yeah, but then you got to weigh it against your own convenience, haven't you?
True. You will.
I think it's a cool idea.
You will own nothing and be happy. It just feeds into that kind of narrative again that I really hate. Yeah. Everything as a service, like you don't even own your house, you don't own like any of your kitchen utensils, like all that stuff.
Just subscriptions.
Everything's subscription based. Like I really don't like that. I mean, I know you can get cars on contract, and that's quite a good way if you can't afford it. But I mean,
at the end, you still have the option to own it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and at the end of the day, like, should you really be living outside of your own means? Like, to be brutal about it.
Well, no, I get it. I mean, I've done that. I've got my car on contract at the minute, but I'm paying for it, and I do eventually get it. I own it once all those payments are off. But
exactly. Yeah.
It was purely for convenience.
It's more like a payment plan, I guess, rather than renting it. Yeah. Is it more like a mortgage rather than renting somewhere?
I'd say it's more like a mortgage.
Yeah, so I guess it makes it more affordable if you can put down the deposit.
Yeah,
which I'm more okay with. But this is interesting. Yeah, I guess they must know their electronics and stuff inside out.
Yeah, I think it was started by like ex-Tesla employees. So
that's awkward.
That would explain it.
Yeah, that explains the anger towards them.
Yeah,
probably. Yeah.
The thing is, though, like Tesla has been pretty against the right to repair thing, but they seem to support these guys. Like every time they open a new garage, there's some Tesla official there like, oh yeah, this is really cool. So maybe it's just a PR move to make them look cool.
Well, Elon started out in advertising. Like he's not an engineer by sort of background.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't.
I'd be interested to hear what his view on it is.
He's very, very good at advertising. That's his whole thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or not advertising, but still being popular. because we know.
Yeah, I don't think Tesla's ever spent money on advertising.
No. And are they the most valuable car company in the world? Is that right?
Yep.
Yes.
By quite a lot.
Well, I mean, yeah. Yes. Big boys. Yeah, say the idea of automation. I mean, I like from a technological point of view. I'm a big fan of electric cars, or driverless cars. I mean, and it's the fact that you could. One idea that I've kind of pitched to people is, if you've got a motorway, you'd have a fast lane for when you're driving, and then you have an even faster lane, which would be for only electric cars, or driverless cars.
Yeah.
So what you do is you have the cars talking to each other, and you have like a train more. So that if you want to move into that lane could have a max speed of like 120 miles an hour or something. And you'd press the button and it would talk to the other cars in that lane, know when there's an opening because it's obviously really fast, and then go in at the right time and sort of hook up to the car in front. And so long as every car is moving at the same speed, it doesn't matter what the distance between you is because you're not going to catch them up or slow down or whatever. So unless there's an accident, then, but presumably your driverless car would know miles ahead. Rather than just
if they're all connected,
yeah, as a sort of internet of cars, I guess. You get your brain fried by 5G, but
worth it if it's cool.
I mean, as I say, you could have the top speed being as high as you want, or as high as the cars can go, for that one lane in the middle of the motorway. And then as soon as you want to get out, obviously it knows where all the other cars are, so it can zoom out and slow down. I mean, already they're at the point where they can change lanes in the motorway by themselves, and that's even without talking to each other.
Yeah, that's
just local, isn't it?
Around you.
Yeah, exactly. Wasn't there something they did with electric or driverless trucks where they drove them? They like secretly drove a whole flotilla of them across Europe and didn't tell anyone.
Yeah, this was back when, was it an actor was killed by his Tesla? Because it crushed him or something.
Right.
It was that from Star Trek.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, rings a bell. But yeah, it was around the time that happened because the headlines were like Volvo drove driverless trucks across Europe and no one noticed.
Yeah. That was Volvo. That was the one. Yeah, because the trucks are a good idea as well because you could have like, as I say, like a train, as many as you wanted hooked up together in series.
Cargo is the prime use for automation.
I mean, the Tesla semi truck is unbelievable.
Yeah, and that's like 0 to 60 in 3 seconds.
I saw when it was.
Would you ever need a truck to go that fast?
When it was first announced, which was several years ago when I first saw it, the kind of presentation that Musk did was it could tow its next nearest neighbor backwards. So like the two trucks are hooked up back to back.
Yeah,
they both rev as much as they can. So yeah, as you said, tug of war. It could easily pull its next nearest competitor uphill. Like doing that sort of matchup. It looks sort of cool as well and sort of sci-fi. I guess. I mean, and again, it's driverless, isn't it? Well, that's the idea. The crew cabin. Because I guess in America you'd want the ones with the crew cabins, right? Because they do trucking for weeks.
Oh yeah, they're really into their trucking though. I mean, it's a massive country, so
it's a huge industry as well. Like it's not like you can ship things like you can here, because it's just fucking desert, just flat land for hundreds of miles.
Yeah,
so it's not like I mean, I guess they could do some with railroads, but they don't do as much trains in America. It's all roads.
Well, they've got railroads in like the mountainous areas. There is quite a lot of railroad, like cargo wise, but it's only for cargo.
Yeah, I know in America for getting trains for passengers, it's a bit of a nightmare. Like you do kind of have to drive.
Yeah, because the railroads are actually owned by the cargo companies, so I don't know how.
Yeah, it's all private. It's all
That's
private.
Why the tickets are so expensive.
There was something I was reading. What was I reading? I think it was Basic Economics a while ago when I first read it. Thomas Sowell, and he talks about the way that railway companies in America kind of outdid their competitors. There's one where they were shipping oil by the barrel, and obviously they were loading up all the barrels onto the back of trains, and one, I think it was the Rockefellers or one of them. They basically, rather than shipping barrels in containers, they just filled the whole container with oil.
Okay, yeah.
And obviously that that means that you don't have because the barrels are circular, you can't perfectly stack them.
Yeah, yeah. I guess that's how they came up with like the tankers then.
Yeah, I guess. I'm getting shouted at on Twitter for not liking football. Still.
Yeah.
Economic erudite is saying imagine streaming at the same time as City versus Liverpool. Kids have no respect these days. I don't give a shit about football. It's not important. Right, what was I saying?
Don't they all just kneel these days anyway?
They're all kneeling for BLM as well. I think I've gone over everything I had noted about electric cars. I mean, we could have a look at some mad petrol cars if we want to get our Top Gear on.
If you want to look really mad, have a look at some dragsters.
Yeah, they are insane.
You look at these production car numbers, and then you look at those, and it's like I didn't even know you could go that fast on petrol.
Yeah, I can't. Front end fastest racing cars ever made. Well, there's the Rocket Land Speed Record ones as well, which.
Oh yeah.
They're still at Coventry, aren't they? Some of them.
Yeah, the Thrust SSC.
Because I remember, didn't we go on a school trip there? Didn't we go on a school trip there in like, I don't know, 2005, 2005 or something?
We were quite young. Yeah, that was cool. They had a simulator you could sit in.
Yeah.
Just like blowing air on you.
Oh, this is the Challenger. I've seen this is pretty fast for a straight line. It's got like special drag tires as well.
Right.
That's the one that Cameron crashed. Is the Rimac?
Yeah.
Oh my god, what the hell is that?
Oh my god, that looks sick.
I forgot these exist. Yeah.
That's the bat bike.
It's like dragster motorbikes.
You gotta have some balls.
What is that? Is that an air intake?
I think so.
Oh, this one, yeah. Army top. I've seen this. This one's the one. This is the.
There you go. The top fuel dragsters. They do 0 to 60 in like less than a second.
336 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Less than 4 seconds for a quarter mile. Oh my god! It's got like bike wheels on the front as well. Look at
that. Because there's basically no, like the front of the car barely touches the ground.
So and I guess it's because it's the army.
It's special.
Because it's the army. It's some like army fighter pilot or something in the.
Probably yeah.
In the sea.
Probably got the same controls.
Yeah. I guess 300 miles an hour is nothing for if you're flying a fighter jet. I mean, we talked enough about the future of warfare, Sam. Although I think by the day our predictions are coming true.
those Russian soldiers.
Christ. Yeah, this is a slight tangent, but a while ago, I think our second stream we did. It's months ago. We did on like the future of infantry combat. We were just kind of spitballing, and we came up with we looked at all these sort of super soldier like concepts, and this Russian soldier suits or something, and I definitely see
like mech suits.
Yeah, it's more like Halo, from the Halo
just
games.
Like death squads.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be able to take a 50 cal round.
What?
Yeah.
How the fuck?
And it's literally called. It's
just turn you to dust.
Yeah, normally they
call it a Terminator.
Normally they blow your head off just going past your head. Sotnik.
Yeah, the shockwave is enough to like liquefy your organs.
That's insane. Oh yeah, already back. The Ratnik is the warrior. It's already tested in Syria.
Again, I think I said this when you showed it to me. But the word "tested."
Yeah. They've already committed multiple war crimes with that.
It makes me wonder why they are developing stuff like that when it's all just drones these days.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about that at great length already, so we'll not dwell on it.
I'll watch the stream.
That was a fun one.
Good choice.
Yeah, give me views, yes. I was going to say something else about that. Yeah, because we talked about the Boston Dynamics robots as well.
Yeah, those things are really cool, but also very scary.
The one which scared us was there's a video of one doing backflips, backflips. Saying backflips doesn't do justice. What were they doing? It was like acrobatics,
like where it's like
swinging through the air,
boxes and stuff.
Trapeze artist stuff, like circuses.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was mad.
Yeah, terrifying. Really cool, but if you saw one coming towards you, you would shit your kecks. Yeah.
What was I going to look for? So I found some mad like engine configurations that have been designed. So you've heard of V10s, V12s, W16s. Have you ever heard of an X20, Mike?
Whoa, no. I can imagine what it is.
So an X20.
Is that right? Is there a production car that has it, or?
So this has been designed. They are going to build a car around it. So what an X20 is it's not that. For the women watching. A V, I guess it's two V10s put back to back, I suppose. See, the cylinders make a sort of X shape.
Yeah.
And 20 cylinders is normally used for like, it's normally considered for like, I don't know, a locomotive or a steamship or something. Like, it's not really for cars.
But if you can, why not?
Yeah, exactly. Two V10 engines in a horizontally opposed layout. They've got two crankshafts that are put together, like geared together in a gearbox, which they've stolen from Lamborghini.
So they literally just put two engines together.
They just welded it back. If you look, there's a drive video about it, which you can watch. I don't know if they got more. Oh no, that's not what I wanted. Yeah, so there's the video where the guy walks through it, talking to the guy who built it, and he says to the guy, like, well, what's the point? Like, why did you do it? And he's like, because we could. And,
I love that mentality.
And they are actually going to build a car around it.
That is great.
It's gonna be insane. Like, can you imagine what this would sound like when you fire it up?
Oh, it'd be insane.
Won't get that from an electric vehicle.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, there is a certain kind of soul to the petrol cars. Not
that there could be in the future. There could be a whole industry around making electric cars sound like petrol cars.
Yeah, I don't know
how they'd do it.
Unless you did it, like with speakers and stuff, it wouldn't really work. Like it would just.
I think there are actually electric cars that do that.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure it wasn't the issues that were raised because they're so quiet that it's potentially harmful to like people who are blind because they've got no idea that it's coming, so they could just walk into the middle of traffic and get mown down.
Just don't be blind.
Natural selection.
Yeah, that's fair. Just don't.
I mean, like in that, if that's your argument, then why don't you just make everyone wear bells walking down the pavement? Because like they're going to bump into people.
I didn't say it was a good idea. I'm saying that's what I've heard.
I'm yeah.
Don't go blaming me.
Fuck's sake!
Wearing bells next week.
Wear the bell, bigot. X20 thing to Valve. I'm not sure about the specifics of it, or how it actually.
Does it have any specs?
No, the engine has two V10. Two of them have two, so it's 4 liters, I guess, total.
Yeah.
Okay, so that they're not. It's not super. They're taking the superchargers off. I don't know about the.
That'd be excessive.
that would just be ridiculous. Yeah, I know. I think the car, because the engine is huge. Like this is like, so that's the exhaust. That's just like the top of it, and it goes again underneath. And it's obviously the gearbox is massive as well because you got to put the two crankshafts together into one.
Yeah, it's going to be tricky to fit that between two wheels.
You're going to have to basically sit the car on top of it.
Something.
Yeah. I wonder what that would do to the handling, having such an enormous engine.
Yeah.
Diesel locomotive.
You'd probably only want to go in a straight line.
Yeah. But I mean, as well as an X20, there's also an H configuration. So an X configuration is obviously like put back to back, but the H configuration, they actually did build this for some early Formula One cars. So it looks like this, if we can see that.
Okay.
So you got the cylinders.
So you have two. So you have two. Yeah.
Sort of flat. So I guess in the X, the cylinders go up like that and down like that. But they're just side to side, so it's kind of similar.
So you'll have the two crankshafts linked at some point.
Yeah, it's pretty mental.
Are there advantages of doing it like that? Or?
I think it's just massive.
Just a design.
But they put it in one of the earlier Lotus Formula One cars. I don't think it did very well. I think Jim Clark, who's like the famous Scottish racing driver.
Oh yeah, he's a beast.
I think he was the only person to ever win while driving it. But to be honest, I think that guy could win in anything. Like give him my Volkswagen up, and he could he could win a Formula One race. High center of gravity, and it was heavy. That's what I was saying about the other one. Is it's just massive.
Right. Yeah.
And I guess because it's got two shafts again, it's prone to failure. But I mean, this was the 60s, so
synchronicity I imagine is an issue there. If you got
you essentially got two engines in it.
Yeah.
Still, so no matter how much you kind of weld them together, what I'd like to see is you know the rotary engines that they had in aircraft.
Oh yeah.
I'd like to see that in a car. I guess my point is that what you know about petrol engines, there's a lot more you can do with them.
Oh yeah, for sure. Have you seen the who was it? I think it's Mazda used to have what was the engine? Like a continuous rotation cylinder. I can't really explain it.
Let me look that up.
What was
continuous rotation cylinder. That's a diesel engine.
I can't remember for the life of me what it was called.
Rotary engine.
Maybe rotary engine.
Don't know. I mean, this is going full like.
Yes, that's it. It's like a weird triangle-shaped cylinder.
Okay,
right.
What the wankle?
I
wonder why I didn't take off.
I don't know much about rotary engines, if I'm honest. I just think they look cool. Yeah,
so I think the main problem with these ones is at the tip, at each of the three tips, you have to have some kind of gasket that keeps each bit airtight.
Right.
And those gaskets are like break really easily.
This is prone to exploding.
I think that's like the main problem. Yeah. But I think, if I remember correctly, the main advantage of this one was you don't lose power at any point of the cycle. It's like continuous power for the whole rotation.
Oh, right, yeah, because, I guess that's why they got the 4-stroke normally. It's like 2-stroke or 4-stroke. But and obviously between, that's a good point, actually. Yeah, you'd have different power outputs depending on what point in the cycle of the piston is going at. That's quite interesting.
Yeah. I think they still make them as well.
Isn't that, I guess... This is probably a bit of a noob question, but if you have like, say, a V16 or a W16 or something, I guess all the pistons are at different points in their cycles at different times, right? At the same time.
Yeah.
But they don't go in tandem, so you get pretty much or more continuous, I guess, with more pistons.
Yeah, you decrease the chance of loss of power at a particular moment, but it means that you can't have all the power straight away.
Well, and linking it back to electric vehicles, that's, I guess, a
major
thing would
advantage
be
of electric.
When you put your foot down, you get the power to the tires straight away, rather than it having to kind of spool up.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is obviously why they're so fast in a straight line, as we've already seen. Farbod also says it gets very bad mileage.
Okay.
Probably true. Yeah. I don't want to read reading comments on Autocar magazine. Getting a little bit German there.
If you want a really out there engine, have you ever seen the Ford car that's nuclear powered?
What?
What?
Yeah,
Was this in the
Ford
50s?
nuclear powered car. This
In
is
the
like a
50s or something?
50s, like everything will be nuclear.
Oh my
type
God.
of era.
Oh my
I'm pretty
god!
sure they did build a few,
Oh my god!
or at least one or two. Pretty sure it worked.
Isn't this from Fallout?
Yeah,
Fallout
this is a
games.
Fallout car.
Like, oh man, the 50s was great. Yeah, inspiration. Yeah, exactly. If you shoot the car and blow it up, like normally in a video game, it just explodes. But in these, they have like a mushroom cloud and everything.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I want one.
Go back to it, yeah.
Gas stations would be, so this is Henry Ford, I guess. It's in the Henry Ford. Or is
Yeah.
His son or something.
Yeah, it's that Ford.
Nuclear technology was relatively new, and it was believed that soon nuclear fission tech would be made compact and affordable. Ford envisioned a future where gas stations would be replaced with full-service recharge stations. Would get 5,000 miles before the reactor would have to be exchanged for a new one. That's not that great compared to
5,000 miles is crap.
Yeah, compared to even we were saying that Tesla batteries have to be replaced every couple of years. Like you could do way more than 5,000 miles in a couple of years, easy.
Yeah. You do more than that in 1 year.
Yeah, typically about 10,000, 12,000 I do. So
yeah.
Not the last year.
But then I think this means you don't have to refuel. You're only doing that one swap every 5,000 miles.
Yeah.
Instead of having to refuel once a week.
I guess to be fair, I assume the reactor is in the back here.
Yeah, obviously I haven't got a lot of cargo space.
No.
But then again, it never took off. If we'd have 30 years of nuclear powered cars, where would we be now?
Didn't they do a nuclear train or something as well? They did a pitched one.
I feel like that was the thing, yeah.
It does ring a bell, yeah.
This is more reasonable. It looks so funny.
I mean, they have nuclear powered subs, so you could have nuclear powered everything.
It just looks so like cyberpunk.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's real. A nuclear powered steam engine. I guess that's what they are, isn't it? Because
yeah. That's got Back to the Future vibes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, nuclear reactors are technically steam powered.
Yeah, it's steam cycle.
Yeah.
That's
You're
what
just using the heat to create steam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Atomic locomotive. I swear that this was pitched, I guess, at one point. I mean, yeah, as we said, that's more reasonable. I mean, for something like in Australia where they have those giant, like miles long trains across the outback for mines. I guess they have uranium mines in Australia actually, so maybe it would work there. It's a fucking nuclear missile.
Russian, obviously.
Is that one of the ones that James May tried to set off with a lighter?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Looks like it.
Yeah. I was actually struggling to think of disadvantages of petrol cars apart from Greta shouting at you.
Maintenance.
But compared to a Tesla.
Yeah, I think what was just said then, I think the maintenance is probably the other part. A lot of moving parts. It's gonna all start to wear down eventually. Whereas with electronics, it's less so. Although once they pop, you can't repair them. You've got to get them replaced.
Yeah, I guess also I was thinking in electric cars you don't need a gearbox because it just the rev keep going as long as you give it more power.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Whereas with a petrol car, obviously you need a gearbox. But is that really a disadvantage? Because changing gears gives you a lot more control over what you're doing.
Well,
if you do it manually,
you can also have that same control just in software if you really want to.
Presumably, I suppose.
Paddles, yeah.
I kind of wanted to dunk on Americans more for not having for thinking that driving a manual car is some sort of wizardry. Can you drive?
They have their gear changes on the stalk as well. It's not even like automatic cars in this country. It's weird.
Wait, how do you mean?
Like the indicator stalk in a car.
Yes.
Most of the American pickup trucks, the gear change.
Oh, the flappy paddle.
Yeah, instead of the flappy paddles. Yeah. It's weird.
That's my I've got an automatic. I've got that as well. It is weird.
Yeah, I just prefer the gear lever. Like, call me old fashioned.
No, it is nice. It's nice. Like my car is automatic, but I drove the Defender again a couple of months ago, and it was just nice to be changing gears again.
Have you done much off road? Have you done much off roading in it?
I've done a little bit, and manual's definitely good for off roading.
I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, even with the low range gearbox as well.
Yeah, and you can do like controlled descents and stuff just by keeping the low gear, things like that. Having said that, there are automatics that do that these days. I guess it's just preference to an extent.
Any excuse to dunk on Americans. That's all I want.
They didn't carry on with this sick car, so there's a dunk for you.
Yeah. They didn't listen to Henry Ford. If there's one man who knows what he's doing with regards to cars, then you'd think it'd be Henry Ford. Maybe he wasn't that clued up on nuclear reactors, I guess.
I just wish nuclear was a thing. It would be so cool.
Yeah, I mean, like,
wait until we get fusion.
Promising.
How compact can we make a fission reactor, do you reckon?
Oh, I've lost audio.
A fission reactor?
Yeah, really? Fission reactor.
These, what they call, was talking about them on Friday. The space missions use them, especially like the moon missions.
Oh, wow.
These low power ones, I can't remember what they're called, FDAs or something like that. But,
RTGs, yeah, Kerbal Space Program. There we go.
My boy knows what he's talking about. Do you mean the thermoelectric things?
I mean, you can't use them for power.
They're super radioactive, aren't they? They're super radioactive as well.
There's that, but
they'll kill you if they're turned on and then it by. That's why they're used in deep
but do you want to
space.
move or do you want to live? It's trade-off.
Actually, I mean, just have some lead-lined car which weighs about 6 tons.
I mean, that Ford was probably lead-lined, so.
Yeah. I do really want one though. I mean, the way that it looks kind of like flat at the front as well.
It looks like a Jefferson's car or something.
Yeah. It looks like something out of I don't know. Just the aerodynamics looks off.
Oh yeah, it does look weird.
Like if they got I don't know, like a modern Lamborghini, say, and just stretched it a bit. I mean, the wheel. Look at where the wheels are as well. I guess because the weight's in the back, so the wheels are right. Like the front wheel is halfway along the car.
It's behind the driver.
Yeah, it's more like a semi truck, I guess.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to go up any ramps.
No. You almost need like little wheels that are like rollers on the bottom that are off the ground.
Yeah, that's weird.
Very strange. Yeah, so I was struggling to think of other disadvantages apart from pollution and, as you say, maintenance. Yeah, I mean, because the range is better. There's no need to charge it every time. Like you just plug it, you just fill it with fuel, and off you go. Like I guess it does. They will catch fire and explode, but not in the same way as an electric one will.
Yeah.
But
say they also have had over 100 years of being in circulation.
True. I mean, see where we are with electric cars in 100 years or 80 years time, I guess.
Levitating. If there's
it's Cybertrucks on the moon.
My God.
No, they literally look like they were designed to be driven around Mars. I want to see the
so
spectacles on a Cybertruck, actually.
That's probably why he designed it, to go to Mars.
It's a PR stunt. That's what I'm convinced by.
Well, it worked.
Yeah.
It does just look like you're driving in a PlayStation 1 game. I think that's my favorite part about it.
That's what I said to you when they first came out, is that they look like I don't see anyone who currently owns like an F-150 and works on a farm. I don't see them liking it. I who else owns pickup trucks in America?
Yeah, I'm not sure who it's really
like.
aimed at.
What is the market for it? I guess. Like, I get it for a gimmick. I mean, I get buying it for a gimmick. I mean, fuck it. If I had like fuck you money, I'd definitely buy one.
Maybe that is the market.
People with fuck you money. I mean,
yeah, just people who want to live the mean.
0 to 60 in 3 seconds.
Hey, you get to your job a lot quicker.
Like you just put a sheep in the back. And... I mean, they say 1,000 miles for range, and I'm so skeptical on that.
What does EPA mean? Experimental something, I guess.
I don't know. Storage, towing capacity. I don't know what that is. 40,000 pounds. What's that in non-reclad units?
7 tons, isn't it? About that.
That's pretty good for towing capacity for a truck, isn't it?
6,350k. So, just over 6 tons.
I don't know how much a pickup truck is supposed to be able to tow.
Let's have a look.
I presume that's like another vehicle with wheels. That's not, that's not like along the ground like a rock or something.
Oh yeah. I doubt that. I don't think many vehicles can just flat rocks.
a large rock the size of a small rock.
Yeah, exactly.
So, quick search: the F-150 can do about £13,000.
Okay, so it's of that order.
Like what engine you've got, obviously.
I guess that they're pitching it to be like as good as an F-150 because that's obviously the main. That's your standard pickup truck.
Yeah.
Or maybe slightly better than an F-150. Well, I guess that's the sort of deluxe tri-motor one. I think the other ones aren't as good for the towing capacity.
Yeah, those numbers look similar to the specs I just had open. Just decreased with the engine, obviously.
Yeah, I'm not convinced by it, but I mean, it is really cool the way it looks.
Especially just for the wheels.
Like you say, it's going to be people with fuck you money.
I can imagine a lot of them in Dubai.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Or like Vegas or something. Oh man, yeah, they look really cool. I mean, it's why I included them on the thumbnail, because it just looks sick.
I know. I've definitely gone back into because I think initially when I saw it, I was completely against it, but now it has really grown on me.
Yeah, what's that like?
Yeah, matching trailer.
Is that one of those trailers where you can see through it?
I don't know. Is it like a horse box?
I haven't got a clue. I don't know if it actually exists. It might just be a mock-up.
Concept, yeah. I mean, this is quite cool.
I
mean, like, that would be the ultimate... Oh, fuck's sake, can you not skip? Stay there. That would be the ultimate configuration that I'd want if I was going to buy something like this.
Built-in barbecue in the back.
Yeah, like... little tent. I love the way that it kind of line... Oh, for God's sake, can you make it... Oh, I don't know how to make it not scroll. How much did it cost, actually? That's all I want. Get my tendies in.
£100. Wow, it's not bad.
Oh, wow. Oh, you can order it. Yeah, right. Fine. Oh my God, how cheap is that?
It's probably, I mean, if I had to guess, it's probably like 100k.
Yeah. Let's have a gander.
For the top spec one, probably 100k.
If you want the self-driving, you've got to pay extra. Which I kind of get. Like, not everyone's going to want that. What I'm going to look at, actually...
70k, actually, apparently.
70k?
Yeah, for that. That's for the tri motor as well.
What's the Model Y? Is that a...
40k.
That's a new one that's coming out next year, maybe? It's meant to be there. It's meant to be their, like, normal person one. Like, starting at, like, 25k, something like that.
Oh, well.
Is that not what the Model 3 was supposed to be?
The Model 3 was meant to be like getting closer to the cheap end, but the Model Y is their first proper attempt at cheap end. I guess the Model 3 is like mid of the line.
What about the Roadster?
This is what Tesla did. They started at the premium top end and worked their way down.
I want to see about the Roadster.
It's working it.
I want to see the Roadster because that's the sick one.
It looks so cool.
Yeah, this is the one that they shot in the general direction of
250 plus top speed.
Oh. Quickest car in the world, yeah.
Range of 620 miles. You could burn that out at top speed in 2 and a bit hours.
Yeah. Over
Quarter
250.
mile, 8.8 seconds.
Oh my god, yeah, over 250. That's insane.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh, you can reserve it for only 38 grand. Brilliant.
Fuck me. But this is the one that they shot in the general direction of Mars.
Yeah. David Bowie.
Was it one of these, or was that an original
No,
Roadster?
Original Roadster, I think, yeah.
Yeah, because they had a Roadster in the mid 2000s, didn't they? Before anyone really knew who Tesla was.
God damn. I can't wait for the Grand Tour or someone to get their hands on one of these. Richard Hammond to...
That's insane. Actually watching that video of it accelerate. It doesn't look real.
It's zoop, zoop, 60 miles an hour.
Have you seen when the truck was released, they had a Roadster in the back? Do you remember that?
Yes, I think I saw that, yes.
Yeah, and there was a guy on YouTube who had a video of sitting inside it when it accelerated. And you can't even explain what it looks like. It was just so weird. Yeah.
4 seconds to 100 miles an hour. Jeez. Oh my god.
What's an F1 car? That's got to be similar numbers.
I think F1's just another level. It's
like what they max out at 300 or
something like that, yeah. Formula 1. 1.6 seconds.
Jesus.
But obviously, this is for one person, and it's
100 miles. 100 miles an hour in 4 seconds.
Oh. But I mean, yeah, a Formula 1 car is like a £30 million supercomputer with wheels attached.
Oh yeah.
Compared to this, which is I don't know how much is this going to cost?
189 there. It says founders.
That's
oh no, that's for the reservation.
I was going to say for that, I would have thought $500,000 or something.
Yeah.
I don't know how many they're going to sell though.
Well, if you're reserving the normal model for 38k, you're probably looking at 200-300.
Fuck me. What else do they sell? Oh yeah, because we were talking about it's going to stray slightly into politics, but they didn't Nancy Pelosi put down a load of calls on Tesla stock, and then just immediately announced that the whole government were going to go electric. And just ordered the Teslas.
I heard that,
yeah.
Absolutely disgusting.
Business as usual, boys. Don't you worry.
Fucking government. Shall we talk about? I mean, the only thing I have left really to cover is hydrogen cars, which are kind of boring, to be honest. There's the Honda Clarity, which is the gayest name for a car. It looks all right, it's nothing special, and it's not. I mean, the back wheel's a bit fucking. Back wheel's a bit weird.
Yeah, that's a bit weird.
It's just a Honda, that's a bit of a better one. I think that's
that looks version. Like a Prius.
It does look like a Prius, you're right, yeah.
It's probably the same body, to be fair.
It's just so it's the tech's clever. I think that's the way it works is you have a good continuous reaction between hydrogen and oxygen, I suppose. And it just produces electricity and you get
water.
Water as an output, yeah. And I mean, look, they switched to electric because the fuel cell tech is just kind of crap. I think the range isn't that great. Hydrogen, to produce hydrogen, you basically got to burn fossil fuels anyway. I think don't you need platinum or something as well for the fuel cells? So that's quite expensive.
Yeah.
And if you
get crucible,
yeah.
Catalyst,
that's the one, yeah. And it's if you're gonna be storing hydrogen, I mean, obviously we've said that oil is flammable enough, and batteries are pretty bad when you set on fire. Hydrogen,
just have a drive in Hindenburg.
Exactly, you got Hindenburgs all the way down the motorway. You know,
as soon as one of them goes, Jesus Christ, say goodbye to the M1.
Well, hydrogen. I mean, okay. To be fair, hydrogen is like the most abundant element, like period. So it's not difficult to get hold of.
But like you say, you have to burn fossil fuels to get it.
No. Yeah. Well, yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I guess if you know, there are way better things you could do with hydrogen involving nuclear fusion.
Fusion would be nice.
Fusion, that's a good idea.
Well, funnily enough, if you want to know more about nuclear fusion, then you can go and watch the previous stream by me and
Our very first one.
Love it.
We basically solved the entire world's issues in that one episode.
Yeah, fusion would solve literally everything.
God, the amount, yeah. So we kind of started off with how it works in various different ways, and then kind of went on to what you could do with that amount of energy, which is quite a lot as it happens.
Yeah, and energy is quite useful. We found out
it is quite useful. Yes, as one of us being a nuclear engineer and all. Farbuzz just recommended.
I'll go in space now. So.
Toyota Mirai.
I've heard of that. Is that the Toyota electric car?
Okay, that looks weird. I don't know what it is, but something just looks a bit off about it. I don't know.
I know what you mean.
What is it? Hydrogen? Oh, hydrogen powered car.
Hydrogen?
Oh, sick. Okay. Hybrid. Okay, so they have. Okay, I guess hybrid's the one thing we haven't talked about. That's kind of the best of both worlds with petrol and electric. So you have a petrol engine, which powers the electric engine. Is that right?
Yeah. It recharges as you drive.
There's different types of hybrid.
Yeah, it's quite complicated because there's some that you have where you can't separate the two sort of powertrains. They're kind of merged into one thing, and there's some that you can have a bit where it drives only on electric or only on fuel or both. I guess it boosts the range, I suppose. So you get the range of a petrol and the less carbon emissions.
Some hybrids have got an insane MPG as well.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, I think the Prius, for all its gayness, has a pretty insane MPG. What is this then? Hydrogen.
Yeah, so Farbod said this is hydrogen.
That's quite cool. Makes less impact on the planet. Blah 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 blah. Why hydrogen? I mean, let's see what Toyota says about hydrogen. That's. Oh my god! Abundant. That's what I said. Abundant element in the universe. In fact, it's found in manure, so you could power your your car by literally shoveling bullshit into it. Steam reforming. Methane. You got to burn methane. Gasification, electrolysis.
I think the biggest problem with hydrogen is the infrastructure.
Well, people said that about electric, but it's coming. You know, if there's market demand, then that will be filled.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure people said that about petrol. 100 years ago. Like, how are you going to?
The demand appeared, so they built it.
Exactly.
But has the demand appeared for hydrogen?
Yeah. Exactly. That's the. You kind of have to generate the demand. I mean, I suppose Tesla did that with the plug-in electric ones.
Yeah.
EU. Oh.
Scratch done.
Making devil signs at it.
It's all right. We're out now. It can't hurt you.
Therapist EU can't hurt you. The facts. Let's have a look at the facts. 22 years of pain. Because I say hydrogen's been in the conversation for a long time, but it hasn't really produced anything groundbreaking. There's no Tesla version of hydrogen. Let's say
there's no way of making this look sexy.
I mean, you could build a cool looking car and put a hydrogen engine in it. I'm sure. I'm sure that's possible.
Yeah. There must be a car that looks cool that's powered by hydrogen.
But this is what Tesla did right, is that they made things cool. Whereas, as I said, the horrible old electric cars, no one wants. There's no reason for anyone to buy this because it's crap in every way.
Yeah.
Our tanks are designed not to leak.
That Christ,
brilliant. I mean,
wow.
I'd like to think that's true anyway, regardless of the fuel source.
Give me a tank that's designed to leak. Actually, I can't. Wait, I guess the ones on the Blackbird were designed to leak when it was down on the ground.
Yes. Yeah, because it got so hot when it was flying that the metal
expanded,
sealed it up. It's insane.
So, fair enough. I've just answered my own challenge then. Oh wow, our tank has layers.
Christ, 3 of them.
It was like an ogre. Brilliant.
Hydrogen tanks have layers. Oh man.
I mean, they've got a nice looking website, I guess.
Yeah, but as I said, the car itself is just so bland. It's just so like beige. I don't know. Sorry, I'm getting a lot of abuse on Twitter still for the.
You got loads of football guys after you now.
March the Devil said he'd prefer my stream. Nice. The world's first mass-produced hydrogen fuel cell vehicle. Really? I thought the Honda one was. I don't know why they all seem to be coming out of Japan.
I mean, the Japanese car companies are the biggest, apart from Tesla.
Are they?
Yeah, Toyota was the biggest, like by value, until Tesla dethroned it.
Oh, really? That's interesting. I thought it was one of the German ones. You're probably right. I didn't know. Because Germany, the German economy is based on cars to a big extent. So it's pretty.
I think Toyota just own Toyota, do they own?
I'm sure they own loads
around in it as well.
But so does Audi and VW. Like they own a lot of other companies.
I think Porsche owns a lot as well.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. String. Yeah, I don't know. Hydrogen is a weird one. As I say, like in theory, it should be great. And the fueling infrastructure, I don't really class as a problem. As I've said before, like I don't really care if it's a difficult problem to solve. We've said with like spaceship that it's not that difficult, just go and do it.
Yeah.
It's not like there's new technology that needs to be invented for it. It's like it's just a market demand thing.
Possible. Yeah, it's just like I say, generate demand.
It's a different level of impossible, let's say. I'm not sure.
While we're on Toyota, have a look at their if you search for their solid state battery that I mentioned earlier.
Okay.
See if they've got any numbers on it.
God, solid state's giving me flashbacks. No. Toyota ready to unveil.
Yeah, I guess. Don't know which one to click on.
That's going to be the thing which revolutionises things, is the battery technology.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Oh, go away. With a solid. So, what do they mean by solid state battery?
I can't exactly remember what it means. I did watch. I don't know if you know Cold Fusion on YouTube. He's got some good videos about this stuff.
So, funny story. My master's project was on graphene.
Well, yeah.
The other guy in my department who did a graphene battery for his, which is infinitely cooler than what I did. So I wonder if and that's all solid state physics. So I wonder if it's something. I don't think it might not be graphene. But it's probably something similar, like I don't know. So silicon or something, carbon silicon. They tend to have all sorts of random shit plugged into them.
Yeah,
solid state batteries are more compact. They use solid electrolyte rather than liquid or gel. Means they require less physical space, I suppose. You kind of compact everything into a solid rather than, as they say, a liquid or a gel.
Yeah.
1,000 kilometers. I mean, that I guess it is it's not quite an order of magnitude better, but it's like double or triple.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you've got some. I think BMW made a saloon that goes about 1,000 miles.
Didn't they do? I'm thinking back to an old Top Gear challenge where they had to drive from Switzerland to Blackpool or something in one tank. I think one
there
of
them... there was the one where Clarkson went up to Edinburgh and back on one tank. That was in a BMW.
Yeah, and it did about 1,000
That's got to be
miles.
about 1,000 miles.
Yeah. I guess Toyota is with Panasonic. I guess Panasonic would be big on batteries, doing cameras and things.
Yeah.
I mean, didn't you have that huge camera battery?
Yeah, that was Panasonic. Yeah, I mean Panasonic. Panasonic makes the cells that go in loads of different devices as well. It's not just their own. Yeah.
God, I remember that battery. Like when we went camping, didn't we use that for for keeping everyone charged? Yeah, for like a week, it did everyone. It doesn't say very much.
I mean, I'm not too much on this one. Yeah,
I'm kind of curious about how the battery works now. I mean, I've probably forgotten how any solid state physics, but solid state battery refuel in just 10 minutes.
That would be nice.
News. Okay, they just say, "Oh, it's solid." It's like, great. That was pretty obvious.
Yeah, these are all normie articles.
Right. Let's see if we can just
get on Google Scholar.
Oh God, no. Wikipedia. That's about my.
There we go. That's better.
It just says, "Yeah, it's solid," rather than. Thank you.
Wikipedia. Go on. What is it? JSTOR? You remember that?
Oh God.
Looking at the articles and everything. That was good. Toyota doesn't seem to have any of their own actual news about it. It's all just rumors, I guess.
This seems to be too much chemistry for my liking. Hiss. That's interesting though. But yeah, I'm not sure what else to add with regards to cars. Have you guys got any other thoughts about the future of cars, the fate of the car? I mean, we could talk about the relationship between the car and the government if you want, because they seem to be trying to ban them and stamp them out in the UK. I mean,
just wall off the M25 and let everyone else get on with their day.
Well, yeah. I mean, I know when Tony Blair was first elected, that was one of his big campaigns, was to get people using buses instead of cars. That was like his one of the things he kind of campaigned on at the very first time. It seems weird that, as I say, the car is like the walking and the bicycle and the car kind of fall in the same category, and that they are an extension of you just moving about as you want. Obviously, you've got to use roads.
Farwell said it well. Vroom good.
Vroom good. Yeah. And like trains and buses, you kind of beholden to the service provider. You can't. You have to like. You don't have that freedom that you do with a car. As you said earlier, it's like an extension of your home to an extent, because you can store your shit in it and that.
I guess with a lot of these things, it just comes down to, do you live in a city?
God, yeah. I am staggered that they've brought forward those plans to ban petrol cars, because everyone in the countryside is going to be like, what?
Yeah. They're governing the whole country off of one city. It's not good. It's not a good way.
Yeah, what's it? UK ban petrol?
I think it is 2050.
I swear it's earlier. I thought it's.
Did they bring it forward? Yeah, did they bring it forward?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, from 2030.
Oh shit.
That's in 9 years now.
Jeez, 9 years? That's mad.
Yeah.
What did they expect? See, they just not thought that far ahead. Like, we plain and simple do not have the infrastructure to charge all of this.
Well, yeah, this is not going to happen.
9 years.
This is not going to happen. Like, they're either going to have to extend the deadline, or they're going to have to, come up against reality, I suppose.
That's not the government's way.
Well, normally when they come up against hard reality, they move the goalposts and claim it was a victory.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, like, what happens? You're on December the 31st. all of your new cars are about to be banned. 1st of January, you've got all these dealerships with thousands of new cars sat there not sold. What's going to happen to them?
Well, I guess they've got 10 years or 9 years to prepare.
Yeah.
Like if you were in favour, like I guess, you know, when we came out of the EU, when people were like, "Oh, what are they going to do on the transover day, the changeover day?" I'm like, "Well, you got 5 years to prepare."
Yeah, true. But I mean, like, even now that electric's still ramping up, is it going to be there in 9 years?
I love the fact that they're using the Green Industrial Revolution tagline, which is lifted directly from the Labour manifesto, word for word. I just think that's so funny.
It's just comical. Like, you don't even know how to respond to it.
The fact that you can think that you could centrally plan an industrial revolution is just staggering.
I mean, I'm at least happy that they're including nuclear in this. At least they've got some sense.
Yeah, such as nuclear energy. Yeah,
They should have another 2 stations by 2030, or around 2030 anyway.
I thought, and they're doing all those mini ones, aren't they? Is it Rolls-Royce or?
They're looking into it. The modular ones, the small modular reactors.
AI Shatoris here. Hello.
Oh, yeah, which is great, but they're still going to start burning money on useless bloody windmills.
Yeah, the windmills. And I don't actually have that much of a problem with solar.
I think eventually, solar will take over, but in more of a, I guess, what we've sort of spoken about in terms of like massive arrays in space.
Yeah, even just having solar farm. If you live in a hot country, a solar farm, I don't really have much of an issue with that. Yeah.
I think if looking back at that Tesla solar roof, if everyone has their own solar roof, that might just do. You wouldn't need the
that takes dependency off the government. We can't have that.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's not going to happen, is
it? Yeah. Okay. This is not really that important. All we care about is the electric vehicles here. Phasing out of the sales of new petrol or diesel cars or vans. So they're just going to make a black market of maintaining your cars, aren't they? Like the demand for maintenance on petrol and
they're gonna phase out the actual maintenance of them.
It just says sales. So what I'm thinking is that people are just going to invest in making their diesel or petrol car last as long as possible.
Yeah.
That's
how I read it. They're not going to allow you to sell any new cars after 2030,
which is just fucked.
You can still have them, but yeah.
Well, that's gonna fuck the profits of the car companies, and then they're going to lobby the governments to cancel the ban.
AI Shaitori wants to know: do Black Lives Matter in space? Any comments, boys?
No comment. I refuse to issue any statements on the matter.
AI is too spicy for YouTube in that I was talking to him the other night, and he said that his channel is not that much larger than this one. It's a couple of hundred subs, and he's already getting like suppressed.
Spice, love it.
Yeah. Oh, these fucking wind turbines just do my head in.
They're so useless. They're just so shit.
It's
just like such a small window where they're useful, and it never gets fucking hit. And even then, it still generates fuck all because of the inefficiencies of lining it up with the grid.
And also the fact that they take a lot of energy to produce, don't they?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're like disgustingly, like I can't remember like the amount of CO2 produced to actually make one is insane, and I think it's rare that they even pay for themselves.
I saw an article recently that said they've got a problem with all the like disused ones. They don't know what to do with all the blades because they're massive and they don't break down.
Bet you wish he has some nuclear waste to deal with right now.
Yeah, exactly. Just fucking chuck it into a mine.
I love that the main criticism from fucking Ed Miliband is that they're not going far enough.
That's always the case, though, isn't it?
It's like you'd expect.
What does Miliband even do?
He's shadow business secretary, apparently.
Yeah. This article is probably pretty old, to be fair.
Well, it can't be that old, as they moved it forward to 2030.
It'll say it at the top.
It's only like a few months.
Oh shit!
18th of November 2020.
Damn.
Yeah, this is not old. This is relatively new news.
I just get shudders when I hear Ed Miliband's name.
I love that. Yeah, you'd expect the opposition to like oppose stuff rather than say no, you're doing the right thing, but just not enough.
Well, I mean, like you say, they've just pulled this from their manifesto.
Exactly, word for word. I hate it. Okay, Air's asking a serious question now. He's not being racist.
Oh, damn it.
Which would be better on Mars? Space design cars or speeder bikes like in Star Wars?
Speeder bikes would be cool.
If you could build speeder bikes, then they could go significantly faster, I guess.
If you could build any vehicle that hovers like that.
I mean, the Hyperloop. We haven't talked about the Hyperloop. I guess it's technically not a car. But
I mean, it's definitely not a car. Yeah.
It's a vehicle.
Can confirm.
It's a vehicle. It's the future of transportation, let's say. It's Musk. I don't know. Musk seems to be on all this stuff.
If it's cool and has the possibility of saving the planet, it's probably Musk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, there's a Virgin.
He's a pretty good guy.
Oh, there's a Virgin one. I didn't know that.
Versus this Chad one of Elon's.
Yeah, Virgin versus Chad. There seems to be quite a lot.
Just wanted to rename his entire company to Chad.
Because I heard one where there was I think it was a Finnish friend of mine, who from university, Sam. He was talking about them trying to build one in Finland, but because they had like tundra there. Well, I don't know, maybe not tundra. I don't know what the word is, but it was like very like wet soil, quite deep down, and the landscape actually moved too much for them to build it, because obviously it has to be extremely smooth and straight and a perfect vacuum for this long tunnel. So they literally couldn't build it in this place, and I guess you had to go quite deep into the rock to do it. It's pretty cool idea. But
you'd be severely limited where you could put it.
Yeah, but you not do it underground.
But that's what I'm saying is,
but then you got earthquakes and shit.
From what I was hearing, I think if you've got tunnels underground, they're actually less susceptible to damage from earthquakes. That was from, I think I watched an interview with Musk talking about his boring company.
If you build them in California, then you probably do have to be wary of earthquakes. And that.
Yeah, that's true. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
I think the idea of the Hyperloop was jazzed up by Tesla or Musk, and then he basically started doing competitions, which is why we've got loads of different companies doing it.
There's a truck that I saw that would be. I don't know what it's called. It's got a giant
truck.
It was because it has these enormous tires that it kind of floated through the water and smashed through ice, but it was a truck. I'm just thinking it'd be great for Mars. I don't know what it's called though. I swear they tested it on Top Gear or something as well. Or the new Top Gear, really latest. Let me just.
I think the Sherp.
Maybe.
That's what we're on about.
Let me just quickly. Oh god, it's the new. Yes, they did it quite recently. Maybe or maybe not. What do you call it? Sherp? How do you spell that?
Yeah. SHERP, I guess.
KSI is a fucking star, and the reason we praise it. Oh my god, Top Gear has just died.
It's weird. It's weird calling YouTubers stars.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they are probably more famous than a lot of the celebrities they have.
Well, yeah,
and he's a multi-millionaire. So
KSI is a successful boy.
For a guy who just made rape faces in his parents' back bedroom.
I mean, some of his FIFA videos are amazing. Oh, here we go. Yeah,
FIFA fun is
That's
great.
it.
Yes, I think this is it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So AI, in answer to your question, this basically.
It looks like something Colin Furs would make.
Yes, it does.
Basically, is
Look at this.
so the wheels are hollow and they are the fuel tanks.
Oh wow!
And it also having all the fuel in the wheels makes it more buoyant as well. So it floats.
I'm sure it does. Yeah.
That's so cool.
That's really cool. I never thought of that.
Yeah.
I guess that means the wheels are really flammable. So when we have our Martian War of Independence, then that's what I'm aiming for.
Shoot the wheels.
Well, I guess there's no oxygen on Mars really, so it wouldn't actually burn. Actually, right. Here's the plan. Here's the plan.
Yeah, these trucks are sick.
I've sort of thought, right. So all the petrol cars, right? We put them on Mars, and then we use them on Mars, so that carbon dioxidificates the atmosphere, and then that means we can start growing plants.
Okay.
And then that
Very
turns
good.
the atmosphere to oxygen, which means that we can breathe on it.
Right, let's go.
So what you're saying is global warming saves Mars.
That's my plan for the future. That's my environmental policy. Is put all of the petrol cars on Mars.
Pollute Mars.
That's what I was talking about. Yeah, with the ice breaking stuff. Yeah, I do want one. I do want one of these. It looks like it should flip over when you set off because it's so like the wheelbase is so tiny.
But because the fuel is in the wheels,
the
really low center of gravity.
I guess it's lower center of gravity than you would normally get in a truck, because like normally you can't get the petrol tank below the center of the wheels. In this case, I guess the center is going to be actually at the center of the wheels. So I don't know. That's quite cool. I do want one of these. I saw ones that were like it's not like a tank. Something that Richard Hammond drove, like facts. It's like Venom.
Oh, you're on about the recent
not the
treasure
one in
thing they did.
Madagascar.
No. Yeah, that was cool, but shit. I'm thinking of it was cool, but it was shit. Yeah, I was thinking of something else. I think it was Grand Tour that he drove some. Oh, I think I know what it was. I'm going to find this now. Richard Hammond's Apocalypse.
It was Ripsaw EV2.
That's the one, yes. I thought it was like Venom or something like that. Ripsaw. This is the one.
Yeah, I've seen these, yeah.
Okay, AI, we've got the what was it, the Sherp that we had, and then this thing. So when we have our Martian War of Independence, this is going to be what we use. I think it's got Cannon on it. Oh no, that's just Richard Hammond. I love
his crash.
I love how it always goes back to the fucking remote crash. There's the one of him in the tank, and he's like, "I don't know what's going on, but I have an erection." When he's driving the tank around.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Oh man,
it's so good.
Yeah, this thing. Yeah, extreme luxury vehicle tank. I kind of want one of these. Luxury super tank. This is something that Batman would buy.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
Cruising through Gotham in that.
Yeah, just like running over police cars. God damn. Oh wait, what was that? It's like, whoa, shit, that's got like, oh, that's an actual tank then.
Yeah, they probably do have some military spec ones.
I don't know, what is the market for this? Like Dubai, I guess.
Yeah, basically. It's literally what it says. It's a luxury tank. An extreme luxury tank.
I'll be honest, those were some words I never thought I'd hear put
extreme luxury tank. I just love the free market.
Capitalism, baby.
Beauty of
it. Right, well, I think on that bombshell, I think it's time to end. I've always wanted to say that.
Well, there we go.
Thank you very much for watching. Thank you to Sam and General Kenobi. Thank you for stepping up. I mean, you're welcome to come on again if we're talking about something that you're interested in.
Yeah, sounds good. It's been a good laugh.
Cool. Well, unless we've got anything else to add.
I've got any ideas for next week, or
we did have a brief idea because I sent you that article about the American military funding pirates in the South China Sea.
Oh yeah.
So I thought it might be good to look at how piracy has worked, kind of historically, and see if that's in any way feasible. Because my basic take is that the American military has, well, the CIA has funded Al-Qaeda, like the original Mujahideen in the 70s. So that's basically the same, isn't it? Because they're just sending these local militias money and weapons to go and fight their enemy. And it's like, isn't that just funding privateers is exactly the same, just on the seas rather than on the desert? Like, I don't think it's that far-fetched, if I'm honest. Because, as I said, they did the exact same thing to the Russians for all throughout the last century. So yeah, we may have a look at piracy unless we have any better ideas. Because as you can see from my avatar, I'm kind of keen on that.
I can tell you're getting excited about that one.
Big fan. Cool. Well, thank you, chat. Thank you guys again, and we will see you next week.
Cheers.